protecting those who help protect us. As lawmakers in our state try to assist firefighters fighting cancer, we're getting a firsthand look at how Valley fire departments are stepping up.
Yeah, this morning, Team 12's Jen Wahl is live at the Scottsdale Fire Station, where the department is using special kits to keep crew members safe. Good morning, Jen.
That's right. Good morning to you guys. And today, about 400 of these washdown kits are going to be donated by the 100 Club to Valley firefighters here locally. Take a look. These are some of the things inside of the kits. There's a hose, there's a brush, there's some soap. That hose has an adapter that hooks up to the fire trucks. And then we actually have some firefighters behind us here giving you a live demonstration of what they do as soon as they are done fighting the fire. You can see they're rinsing down and just getting all of the contaminants off, the carcinogens that come from those blazes. So there's a huge push for legislation right now to make sure these first responders get insurance benefits for cancer linked to their jobs. And right now you're looking at video of lawmakers who shaved their heads last week to push for firefighter health benefits and support firefighters already battling cancer. There's a new piece of legislation just introduced yesterday at the state capitol that's drawing support from both sides. It would make it harder for insurance companies to deny cancer claims. So here's why this is such a big deal. Cancer is now the #1 cause of death for firefighters. In 2019, 22 Valley crew members were diagnosed with cancer. 4 firefighters passed away after battling the disease, and the doctor who gave these diagnoses is seeing a common theme. He says firefighters are getting more aggressive cancers at a younger age, and they're hoping these kits will help cut down on that.
These kits help limit that carcinogens on the turnout gear. So once they come out, like I said, we get that gross decon, that little wash down effect. Then our firefighters are bagging up those turnout gears and getting them professionally cleaned every time after every single fire.
So back out here live, research from the U of A shows that using the washdown kits right after a fire and before getting back into the fire truck to head back to the station can help reduce cancer-causing contaminants by up to 80%. Now, each of these kits, guys, they are not cheap. They run about $80 a piece. Again, all donated by the 100 Club. And if you would like to help donate, you can go to our website, 12news.com, click on the story, and there's a link of how you can get involved as well. Of course, just very important here to help prevent these firefighters and first responders from getting cancer.